Right, so we're back to the JDXI today, and one of the questions was how can we add the effects to the drum parts. Right, so we're at a blank program and we're going to go to the drum part. Now you'll notice straight away that there's a kit, and the kit is spread across the keys. What you'll notice is I've just turned off the effects section, and so the lights here are unlit. But if I go and press a key, and it depends which drum instrument it is, then an effect might come on. So I'm going to go, I hit snare drum 3, and what we can see now is that the reverb light is on. And if I touch the bass drum, you'll notice that that's gone off. So what that's telling me is that the effects have been applied to some, but not others. So where do we go to add those things? Now we can record parameters as we play. So if I touch now you'll see it's not making any difference. Now the reason it's not making any difference is that they've been pre-programmed. So let's go to the menu and we'll scroll to the right. Now it's a tone edit function. Anything to do with the voice or the partial of a instrument, we go to the tone edit. Now the drums, they have many partials layered on top of each other, and those waveforms are stored. That's why the drum sounds so nice. And if we go into tone edit, we're at the common level. You'll need the JDXI parameter guide, because in there it looks like pages of stuff we don't understand, but actually if we take a look at particular sections then we can understand it. So I'm scrolling to the right, and what you'll see is that we're on C2, which is the bass drum. So these are the sounds. If I go D2, that's bass drum 2. So what I'm going to do is move through, and you'll see various things: pitch, filter, envelope. This is the filter section, and the filter, we can adjust that for our sounds. Here's output. Now here is where we assign the parameter for C2 in this case, or A2 in that case, or bass drum 3 is E2 in this case. Now you can see that on E2, reverb is on the output assign, and if you notice, the reverb light is now on. So what that tells me is that we can, and I'm going to try it, I'm going to look through these values. We've got DIR, which means direct. So therefore, if it's direct, it's not being assigned to an effect. And we know we have to with the drums. So here, we've assigned E2 to reverb, and the delay has been assigned as well. And we have an overall effect where we can apply the other effects, i.e. the distortion, fuzz, compression, bit crusher, that's effect 1, and effect 2 is the flanger, phaser, ring mod and slicer. So we can choose those here as well if we want. And you'll notice that the lights change. Effect 2, so effect 1 has gone out. Effect 1 has now come back on. And now delay, so we can see that delay is lit now on the output assign. And now I've moved and changed it to reverb, so reverb is on. So we can choose the extent of the effects that we want. And there you can see I'm scrolling through, and the lights on the front panel change. So let's leave that one on delay. And I'm going to go to A2. And A2 we can see reverb is on, so we know that there's reverb applied, although we don't know how much. So I've scrolled to the right, and it says output level is 127. So we know that it's at full volume, and we can lower that volume by lowering the amount here. But that's the overall output level of that particular A2. And A2 is snare drum 3. Now, if we look at the output, the delay send level is at 0. Now, if I increase this, this is telling me this is like dry wet control. I can increase this. Now, we know increasing it at the moment isn't going to make any difference because it's not on. We can see that the front panel light is not on, but I'm going to leave it at about 100. And the reverb on A2, the send level is at 30. So I hazard a guess that because the reverb light's on, that there's some reverb applied. So if I increase this and I play, so this is adjusting the reverb send level. Now what I'm going to do here is I've got delay on, and we've seen there that here's reverb, here's delay and reverb, and there's effect 2, and I brought in effect 1. But this is the one we're interested in. Now, of course, I can control this from the front panel. So this is exactly the same, but what we can't do from the front panel is tell it to switch to the combination that we want, and we also can't tell it the amount that we want. So that's why we have to move up the send from 0 up, because of course 0 is off. There'll be no level sent to the effect, so therefore you won't hear anything. And we know this because if we, there's the send level, the delay send level, I'm turning it down. There we go. As I go down, there's the proof in the pudding. It's at 0. There's none applied, even though it's switched on. Okay, so we've switched it on because we told it the output assign, and we've set the level as well. And here's the level of reverb. See, so now we can see that the send is at 67, and we can still have that send at 67, but the actual value of reverb at 0, which is why when I move the front level control, you can hear the reverb increase as I turn the value up. So some of this is accessible from the front panel, some isn't. There we go. There's and the peculiarity here, of course, is some instruments like the BS2, when you move the control, you can tell from the screen what its original value was. Now here you can't, so that means that the knob, this knob, the delay, is at full, yet the send level is at 0. So of course, even though it's on, you can't hear any delay. If I turn the value up, now you can hear the delay. So what you see on the front knob may not correspond to what the actual value is. So you need to be aware of that. But with these controls in the output, so tone edit, output, you can add the effects as you like to each instrument. And of course they go from BD1, C2, you can see on the display, all the way up to other 2, C#4, and everyone in between. So this one, B2, doesn't have any effect on it. So let me do something about that. I'll change the value. Now, I'm at 50, you can't hear anything. Why? Because I bet the send level, there's the reverb send level, it's not assigned because it's direct. So let's do something about that. There we go. There's your delay. Okay, that's how we do it. If you've liked this video, please click like and share the video if you know anyone that doesn't know how to get the most out of their JDXI. And I'll be posting more of these videos, so please keep in touch. If you've got any ideas for things that you want to know, then contact me and I'll do my best to create a tutorial for it.